Hey guys, it's Kaz here, and today I'm doing a ScrawlrBox unboxing. Side note, you might have wondered, hey, I haven't seen one of them on Kaz's channel for a while. Here's the thing, every month I get this box and I record the unboxing thing, but then if I don't feel enough about the prompt or the things in it, then I just don't finish the video off. So last month I thought the prompt was really interesting, but it was so interesting and so complex that what we got in the box, it was too limited for my ideas, so I didn't do that. So hopefully this one is going to be something really good, which last month's was, but also something that I feel like it isn't so that I can't think of anything to do. So enough with the ramblings, let's just get to the openings. So here we are. First of all, let's just grab the Ode Sweetie because it's right here. So we have a blackjack here. These are licorice, I'm pretty sure. I'm not a massive fan of licorice, but I feel like blackjacks are acceptable because they're not too much licorice and they're quite chewy. So yes, that is acceptable for me, thanks. Moving on to the zine. Obviously, like normal, I will go through this more when I've gone through the actual products, but there it is at the start. I like it. I like the colours. I'm very much that kind of colour person. And of course we also have the print. So this is by Robert Dutton. I'll leave that there for a second. You can pause the video, you can read it if you want. It's got his Instagram and his website there. And that's a picture. Yeah, really like that. It's definitely my sort of thing. When I go to art galleries, this is the sort of thing that I love. I just love looking at landscape pictures, so yes, please. Next, let's get onto the paper. So we have this. It is Paint on Mixed Media Multi Techniques Denim Blue. Oh nice, so it's blue paper. Oh, that is very interesting. Look at that. Quite nice and thick. That is really interesting. I've never used blue paper before. So this is 250 GSM or £115 if you're American. So this has been a little bit ripped tape and that's why there's things flung about here. So let's just go here first. So first of all we have Art Graph Eraser, I'm guessing. It just says Art Graph here. Oh, that makes more sense. Art Graph White Pencil Factory. So is this... Oh, it might actually be like some sort of chalk or charcoal, water soluble. Very interesting. I thought it was a rubber at first, but it's water soluble white, so that's going to come up very well on the blue background. We have a Derwent Tortillon. This is for blending so you don't get your fingers all smushed up. We have a white Faber-Castell Gold Faber. I'm guessing that's some sort of charcoal. So we have two of these. This is the Faber-Castell Pit Graphite Matte. We have a 6B and a 14B. So graphite pencils, working away at that. We have, ooh, there's a big thing in here. There's a thing, look. A Derwent thing. I'm a fan of Derwent. I do have quite a bit of Derwent things. So we have charcoal blocks, graphite blocks. One light, one medium, one dark of the charcoal, and one soft, one medium, one hard of the graphite. Let's open this up. I need a stabber. How am I meant to open this? So we open it up like this. Ooh. So they are very similar to the graphitint blocks. We've got the graphite and charcoal in these blocks. And like I said earlier, I've got the light, medium, dark in the charcoal. And then the soft, medium, hard in the graphite. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. And last but not least, we have the ScrawlrBox little menu thing. And the challenge is dramatic landscapes, which is definitely something that I can do. I like doing landscapes. I like looking at landscapes. I like drawing landscapes. So, yes, very much so. And we have all of the information on everything we have in the back here. So the RRP of the blocks would be about £9. The graphite pencils are £2 each. We've got the pad, which is £4, which is already over the amount you pay for the box. And then we've also got the random chalk thing, which is very interesting. Definitely looking forward to giving that a go, which is £5.80 RRP, which there we go is a big boost to the price. We've got the white colour pencil, which is £1, and the blending stump, which is £2.20. So it is a good looking box. It is good for the price. And before I head on off to think about my ideas, I'm just going to have a quick flick through the zine so you can have a look at everything in there. But really enjoy this box. I've never really played with charcoal and stuff before, maybe bits and bobs, but never like properly, so it's definitely interesting in that sense. And the blue paper, definitely looking forward to giving that a go. So yes, quick flick through the zine before we go. So the first page is all of the information about what we get. Oh, the sticker. Do I have a sticker? Yes, he's in here. I just missed him, I forgot about him. The sticker. Ooh, very nice, very nice. Again, with that colour. Big fan of the colour. So yeah, we've got information on everything we have in here. We have an interview with the artist and a few more of their pieces of work. Very nice. We have a lot of tips for these blocks and the charcoal and stuff, which is good because, like I said, I've never used these before. So there's a lot of information on here, a lot more than normal, which is good. We have a few bits and pieces from the July 2021 box. I did do a video on this one, so I'll link that up above if you want to check it out. Had a lot of fun with it, alcohol inks. And then we've got a bit of information about the benefits of black and white and behind the artwork. So definitely going to give that a read because I really like that piece. And there we go. I'm going to head off and think about what I'm going to do, and then I shall be back with the image for you. So while I'm gone, here is a message from one of our sponsors, and then I shall be back with a nice artwork. Hopefully it'll be nice. I will be back with an artwork because I very much enjoy this box. So yes, see you in a second. Hi! What? You attention seeker? Hi. Lovely boy. Lovely boy. So I've not even tried the products yet, but at the moment I'm reading Nansen, which is about Fridtjof Nansen, the Norwegian polar explorer, and I'm very much leaning towards polar vibes with this image. The blue paper, the black and white, it very much fits with these. I'm going to have a look online at some images, but we also have some in here, sort of polar-y ones. I also have a couple of other books that I'm going to look at a little bit more in depth. Well, this one, The Expedition, is more about the after stuff that happened at the expedition. So I don't know how interesting, well, it's very interesting, absolutely amazing book. But I don't know how much this is going to help me in terms of what I'm wanting to do. But it does have a bunch of stuff in. There's images in here as well as words. So might have a little flick through there again. Brilliant book anyway. So highly recommend. But I also have this, which is probably going to be the most helpful because it's literally a photo book. So I've not actually had a chance to look through this yet. I only got it a few months ago. But let's just get rid of the cover because it's in the way. This, as you can see, is about photographs of Captain Scott, who was also an explorer. So there's definitely going to be some interesting things in here. Explorer type things. This book is massive. It's really hard to show on here. But yeah, I feel like this is going to be very helpful for what I'm wanting to do. So yeah. The next you'll see of me will be trying out the products and all that jazz. So here we are trying out the products. Now I just want to reiterate how much I really enjoyed this blue paper. It's so different. I've definitely got my hands on some more blue paper that's come in. Really enjoyed this. It definitely leans towards the polar cold vibes. But potentially you could do some warmer things on there if you cover most of the paper up. It's just very nice to work with. All the products were very nice as well. This block thing, I really liked using it sideways because it felt like more of a texture that you would get on a mountain, so I think that works really well. These ones, I don't think I wrote it, but the first lot were the charcoal, the second lot were the graphite. So yes, tried a few different things. We were mixing them together. As it said in the zine, that was one of the techniques, putting the white on top of the black and getting different tones. And then I really enjoyed using the white with a paintbrush because it becomes really white. So with the thumbnails, the first one is an image that I saw online. I decided not to go with this one because it was too similar. It was very much like, you can't just steal someone's work like that. But I really liked the picture and I couldn't really make it different enough for it to not be like plagiarizing. But I'll put the image up on the side anyway. I was just looking on Google Images for other Polaroid images and that came up, and it was about an expedition that happened quite recently, a few years ago. So then I had a nice little read of an article about what happened there, so that was very interesting. Throughout all of these thumbnails you're going to see that each time I like to put some sort of man-made object in there to show the scale. So the first one has the boat, the second one had a little person standing in it. This third one here, again, I wanted to do sort of the big blocks of ice and then a boat in it just to show it. And this one, I just drew this little thin image just to fit in the space, but I actually really liked it, and I did end up going with this and cutting the paper, as you will see in a second. But yeah, I cut this down to a thin and I thought it worked really nicely. Building it up with the white looks really cool, and then with the little moon or the sun in the top, I did end up changing the boat to the other side, so it was on the opposite side of the moon, because when I first drew it, it was on the left hand side. Quickly threw it onto the right. And then, because I saw that one and saw how nice it was, I thought, well yeah, I definitely need to do a thin long one because I'm definitely doing that one and I don't want to waste the paper. So I also decided on this nice sort of panoramic scene. And with that one, I put a few guys in carrying a little sled, and that is my man-made bit. So jumping straight in to the nice tall thin one. With this one, like I said earlier, I don't know much about charcoal and doing this sort of thing. I've not really had much experience in it, so I was just playing around with everything. There's a lot of layering with this. I threw on the sort of little shapes to begin with. We've got the shapes of the mountains of ice, we've got the little shape of the boat and the shape of the moon. And then it was just kind of just keep working with it until it looks alright, sort of thing. There was a section in the back of this, you will see, look, this is where I put it on. It gives a nice little texture. I don't know how much of that texture actually is there at the end, but I do like how it goes down. The back one, I tried to make it look a little bit out of focus, so it seemed like it was in the background, so I used the tortillon to blend that out a bit, just to give the picture a little bit more depth. So we've got the boat in the foreground, then we've got the ice, and then we've got a little bit more ice in the background, and then we've got the sky. Wanted to make the sky a bit more dramatic, trying to use these blending techniques, trying to change some stuff up. And yeah, like I said, the rest of this is just going to be putting loads of stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff. So I'm just going to talk about polar expeditions for a bit, because I don't really have anything more to say about the image. So yeah, I really enjoyed that article that I read when I found that picture I was talking about a second ago. It was from a couple of years ago, and it was interesting to hear their take on the expedition and reading through it, and how I think they had enough food for maybe like 30 or 40 days and they were getting scared, like, oh, the food's nearly up. And then you look at the expedition that Nansen did, and they were out there for like 4 months just in a hole that they had to make because it was that cold. So that's not even taking into account all the actual going across the ice. It's just funny how different it is, and how the modern one, they had a phone, and every couple of days they would send their whereabouts and what was happening to the daughter of one of the people on the expedition, so they could put it on social media. So even though, you know, they're doing the exploring, they're doing what they're trying to do, it's funny to see the differences, how they've got all this. And when they were being a bit scared that they'd run out of food, someone was just like, well, a boat's coming soon, do you want us to just nip some food over and then you can carry on with your expedition? And then again, you look at the Nansen one, which happened in the late 1800s. It was 1890, 3 maybe, can't remember, somewhere around there. And then they were on the boat for like a year and it was stuck in ice, and then they were travelling across the North Pole for months and months on end, and then they had to stay in a hole that they dug on an island. They didn't know where they were for like 4 months because it got too cold to move. Running out of food, they just had to get their own food and hunt and stuff. It's just funny seeing the differences. But it's also kind of sad because in that article they did mention how it was probably going to be one of the last expeditions that happened because of how global warming has affected the ice. On their expedition there were bits of ice where 20-30 years ago it would have been a metre thick, and now it's a couple of centimetres. So there was a lot of having to go on boats or falling through the really thin ice, which is sad because along with people wanting to go over there, there's also animals that live there. And there's also just, obviously we need that ice there, but it's all going. So yeah, it's kind of interesting, that difference. How I was reading about Nansen, who is pretty much known as being the pioneer of modern expeditions of the Arctic variety, and then like 100 and some years later, sort of the end of the road of modern expeditions on ice. So yeah, it was kind of an interesting juxtaposition. I can't say words. Juxtaposition. Why am I saying dishing? I'm saying expedition. Juxtaposition. There we go. Between the two. So yeah, I'm still doing the image on here, as you can see, adding more layers. Hopefully you've been enjoying what I'm doing. I tried to do a little bit of a shadow and a little bit of a reflection on the boats. Hopefully that kind of shows and works well. That's what I was trying to do there anyway. But yeah, I really enjoyed this box. It's definitely something that I'm going to do more of. I really enjoyed using these products together. That white. In my second image, I used the white block with the paintbrush more, and I really enjoy the way it just looks so stark white against the blue background. So yeah, really enjoyed this box. A few more bits and pieces here. And here we go, onto the long thin one. So as you can see, straight in with the white with a wet paintbrush, and it just looks so nice against the background. This one is so simple, it took hardly any time compared to the other one, but I really love it. I think this is my favourite of the two because of how simple it is. It just works, I think. So with this one, there were a couple of images from the photographs of Captain Scott's book that I took inspiration from, but I looked at that book the day or two before I started doing these images, so I didn't plagiarize actual photos like I mentioned earlier. So I had sort of the idea in my head of this landscape, but then I threw it down and created it myself. So I don't know if there's any place in the Arctic or Antarctic that looks like this, but I like the way it works. So I went with the really white foreground, and then as you go back it gets a little bit darker and there's a little bit more depth to it, hopefully. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Haven't really got much else to say about this. Want me to explain polar exploration a bit more to you? Probably not. So yeah, with these ones I tried to make one side of it a bit more shaded, one side of it a bit more light to give it the depth there, using these blocks. Really enjoyed using these blocks as well, definitely gonna use them more. With the blue sky, you'll see in a second that I did end up going over it, but I wasn't sure as I was doing it. I wondered whether to leave the sky blue or whether to give some other colour to it. Eventually I did go with a really light white over the top, and I think that worked well. It made it look like it was snowing as well as it being all these icy polar places. So yeah, I do think it looks nice with the blue looking at it now, but I do think it looks better with the white bit. And here I add the two little explorers. You can't really see me doing them because they're so little, but two little explorers with their little packs walking along, and I put them on the right hand side so it looks like they're walking into the image, and they've still got a long way to go before they get to where they're wanting to get to. So yeah, this is the ending. I just added a little bit of the white to give it that snowy, cold sort of effect, and that was it done. Really enjoyed doing that one. So yeah, there were my 2 images. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you enjoyed watching this and accepted me chatting absolute waffle. I don't know if you'd enjoy it, but hopefully you accepted it. And here they are a bit close up. And yeah, if this is your first video by me, then maybe check out some of my other art ones or some of my book ones. And if you want to, give it a subscribe, that'll be fun. But if not, that's fine as well. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you again in another video. Bye.